I don't wanna waste a minute. Don't have any plans, wing it. If you got a glass, fill it. Cause I need it now. Monday is a bitch in it. I don't wanna think about it. So if you know the song, sing it. Cause I need it now. Take me to a place where the music's loud. I don't wanna think right now. Flashing lights running through the crowd. I don't ever wanna stop. So let's get out. Let's get out. I got money in my pocket and I'm about to fucking drop it with you now. With you now. Tear the roof off every building. I know I'll be spending millions with you. Just tell me what you wanna do. So let's get out. Let's get out. I got money in my pocket and I'm about to spend it all. I don't wanna waste a minute. Don't have many plans, wing it. If you got a glass, fill it. Cause I need it now. Monday is a bitch in it. I don't wanna think about it. So if you know the song, sing it. Cause I need it now. Take me to a place where the music's loud. I don't wanna think right now. Flashing lights running through the crowd. I don't ever wanna stop. So let's get out. Let's get out. I got money in my pocket and I'm about to fucking drop it with you now. With you now. Tear the roof off every building. I know I'll be
Am I okay? I thought I was on. I thought I was muted. My bad. I'm not though. But yeah, welcome to the show, everyone, ladies and jelly spoons. As you'll see here in just a moment, I'm all alone today. So no, Nick is not here today. He had some stuff going on, as he mentioned on the show. I believe it was like last week. He is moving right now, or he's in the process of beginning that, and he had some stuff going on with that. So I'm rolling solo today. He had some stuff he had to take care of. It's all good. We will, I do still have some things to talk about, and I got a little something different today too. We're going to be doing an unboxing of a package that I got today. Ooh, something I wasn't expecting to get so quickly. So I got it actually yesterday, and I still haven't even opened the package. As you see, this is totally closed. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're going to do that about the midway point of the show. I have a few stories to go over. No news bits this week because just all the small news I didn't give a shit about this week. So I am more interested in some of the more larger stories. I got an interesting one, our last story of the day. I'm really looking forward to talking about it. I want to see what you guys, how you guys respond to that, because it's going to be an interesting one. I'll probably be interacting with the chat a little bit more today than usual because I am all by myself. What's up, Fright? How you doing, my friend? It's weird to see no Nick. Yeah, I know, right? He's become a fixture of the show, I know. But it's all right. I'm here. That's all you need. Don't be scared. Anyway, yeah, I guess we can go ahead. This probably, when I say this, it's usually long, but it can't. I have somewhere I have to go a little bit after 4 o'clock today, and it is 2 o'clock now my time, so it shouldn't be any longer than usual, but I would probably think this show might be a little bit shorter than usual, depending on how long this unboxing goes. I don't think, this isn't really, it's a cool thing, but it's not like something, once it's open, it's open. There's not much more to do with it, so... yeah, there's that. Hope all you guys, I see that there's a few people watching. I see Frights here in the chat, of course. Those of you that don't want to chat, no problem. I'm happy for you to just be here. Excuse me, sorry. Some of you may be wondering, just to throw it out there, I had promised I was going to stream like some of my Ultimate Dreamcast and Saturn stuff, or just something. The reason I didn't do that was because I had an issue with it. It's, for some reason, stopped displaying video, and I don't know why. I'm troubleshooting that right now. I think there might be like some microscopic solder joint that's just not quite there or something. So I'm having to go back over all those solder joints on my Dreamcast HDMI port mod to make sure that they're good. It's probably going to end up being something really simple, but I have no way of telling what it is, so I just have to troubleshoot. So hopefully in the next few days I'll have that fixed. I haven't been able to devote a lot of time to that, so I probably would have had it fixed if I could do that. But anyway, I will figure that out in the next few days, and there will be a stream of that. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump right in to, I mean, it's working, Fright. Good luck with that. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I mean, it's the thing about electronics, they're on or off. That's it. So something's just not got a connection. I just have to go through and check all the little connections. Just they're all itty bitty connections. It works through like AV. I can plug in like the AV, like the RCA jacks. It works. I mean, I can see that, but the HDMI plug for some reason stopped working. It was working. It was a beautiful thing, by the way. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on. Let's go ahead and jump into our first story of the day. As I said, no news bits today because all the small stories just kind of suck. And I might like start transitioning away from news bits a bit because they've grown to be a bit big, and that was not the idea behind that whole bit. So we'll see. You know, change things up as things work and they don't. All right, let's jump into Storio numero uno, and that would be Henry is back. Praise the Lord, hallelujah, and pass the peas. Everyone, Henry is coming back. He is gracing us with his presence. Now, there's some possible spoilery stuff within this, and I'm going to stay away from it. But I can't even really say what this stuff could be a spoiler for without spoiling that. So, but most of you probably already know, but I'm not going to talk about it. I don't want to add to it. But the news is that DC is developing a Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill set to return. The studio is currently in the process of looking for a writer. Longtime DC producer Charles Roven is on the project, and WB has a director wish list that Mission Impossible's Christopher McQuarrie is on. McQuarrie was the director. He's directing the current Mission Impossible movies. The one, what are they calling them? Whatever the part 1 and part 2 that Tom Cruise is making right now. And he also made Fallout, which Fallout was fucking awesome. So that is good news. He's a really good director. He knows how to, and Cavill was in that, so they have a relationship. As of right now, Man of Steel 2 is still in very early stages of development, so it's probably some years off, especially since if McQuarrie is the one who takes it, he's not confirmed, they said, but he's at the top of their list. And my understanding is that they were talking to him, like the talks have taken place or something, but it's not 100% confirmed that he's going to be the guy. They have some other people on the list. Dan Trachtenberg, from what I understand, they were talking to him about it. Wait a minute, I think I'm getting my movies mixed up. Am I getting my movies mixed up? I am getting my movies mixed up because there's another announcement I have later on. Dan Trachtenberg's with that one, but so no, not Dan Trachtenberg here, but McQuarrie is at the top of the list. There's some other people on the list. I didn't mention those in case he doesn't work out. But as of right now, I know that he's the one they want to go for. So, yay, there it is. I mean, we don't have really any other info beyond that. This is just the initial announcement that he's coming back. I guess the question is, what does that mean for, I'm going to butcher the guy's name, but I really don't care because he seems like a douche. Tasani Coates, I believe is his name, the guy who was writing the quote-unquote Black Superman movie that they were making over there when David Amata was still in charge. Does that mean that that's just gone now and over with? I would be okay with that, not because it's a Black Superman, but because the guy writing it, he's a douchebag. But and their reasoning behind making it, they didn't have a story or anything. They just said, we want Black Superman. And I'm a white guy, but even if I was a black guy, I'd be like, that's not why I want you to make a movie like that, because of that? No, I want you to make a movie because it's a good movie. So I'm happy to see that Henry Cavill's coming back and we're getting Man of Steel 2. Obviously, it will be someone else's take on Henry Cavill as Superman besides Zack Snyder, which this will be the first time that Cavill has donned the suit without Snyder at the helm, I believe. I don't think there hasn't been anything else. So that's awesome. That'll be an interesting look. Many people have likened some of the issues with Henry Cavill's Superman being Zack Snyder and his take on that universe. So, but they've always, pretty much everybody said they like Cavill in the role. It's just he's been kind of coupled with some bad stories. So, depending on who, I enjoy the movies, but hey. So yeah, big moves. We're seeing some good shit. This is something we've all been wanting, or a lot of us have been wanting. I know I've been wanting because I think Henry Cavill's a fantastic Superman. So, hey, he's back. He's back in blue, not black. Maybe black. He was in black suit in the last one. But whatever. I will be interested to see where this goes, and I'm sure we'll hear more about it. It's probably going to be a little bit until we hear any more about Man of Steel's return. But, hey, I'm wondering, because we haven't heard anything else about that other version. Is it just going to be a separate version? Because DC is not afraid to do that. DC will absolutely have everything. Doesn't have to fit inside their little DCEU like the MCU does. They'll make a separate fucking movie like the Joker or the Dark Knight series, things like that. They'll make their own thing, and I mean that's cool. That can be cool. I mean it worked out for those movies, so hey, we'll find out sometime soon, I guess. I'm looking forward to seeing where this series is going, what they're going to do with Henry Cavill, and if that other one is still even being made. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are interested, or if you're excited about this, if you're excited to see Cavill back, or if you could give a shit, or if you're more interested in seeing the other version that Coates was working on. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. Okie doke. Let's jump into, before I jump into the next one, let's see here. Fright saying, yeah, DC's making big moves. Yes, they are. I think we're going to see a lot from DC in the coming months. I'm going to say probably after the beginning of the year is when we're going to start seeing a lot of stuff start rolling out from DC. I think right now they're giving us some, they're trying to release, because if you notice, and I had said, hey, I think DC needs to just shut the fuck up, close the doors, stop letting out any news, much less bad news. And they kind of did that right around the time I said it. I'm not saying they were listening to me. No, they weren't, but they just know good business. But they stopped letting out all that bad press and everything. They kind of had that first round of just cleaning house. That shit, you can't help but let it get out there. And they just kind of weathered the storm. Now they've kind of closed the doors, under construction. They're letting stuff like this out because this is good press. Nobody's going to, well, most people, the mass majority out there is not going to look at this and be like, that's a bad thing. Most people, this is positive. So I think that we will see a few positive stories here or there. But that's about it. Like surefire positive things like this one. This is a pretty surefire hit as far as the news. And then after the beginning of the year, after they've restructured and they've figured some stuff out, I think that's when we're going to start to get some more substantial news and things like that. If they're smart, that's what they would do. But who am I? Fright says, hell yeah, Henry Cavill is a great Superman. That's what I think. He's my Superman. And I mean, I grew up with Christopher Reeve as Superman. And Brandon Roth, I don't think was a bad Superman, but I never saw him as... He was in one movie. That movie really wasn't that great, so I don't think anybody sees him as their Superman. I think it's usually between Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill. And I honestly, while Christopher Reeve is an amazing Superman, he was in some stinkers too. You know? Most of them besides the first movie were not that great. The second one was pretty good depending on which version you're watching, but 3 and 4... Yeah, those we're just not going to talk about those. But he was a fantastic Superman, but Henry Cavill has kind of become my Superman now. Alrighty, let's excuse me. Let's move on to our second story. Moving right along today, quicker than usual. We don't have that damn chatty Nick here, just talking so much, just taking up so much damn time. Just kidding. We love you, Nick, or I do. Okie doke. So story number 2 of the day, Black Adam. That's a movie. It's coming out real soon. In fact, I'm going to see it tomorrow at a slightly early screening. But it's coming out officially Friday, I believe, as of this recording. Black Adam, some of you maybe... I'm not real familiar with the character of Black Adam, by the way. I'm aware of him, but The Rock, I think, was really right in the reports he said early on that nobody knew who the hell Black Adam was, really, as far as the masses go, until now they do. Now they have a better idea. And he's right. I'd heard the name. I knew it was linked to Shazam in some way, but I didn't even know that much about Shazam until that movie came out. So Black Adam was kind of a mystery to me. Over time, I've learned that he is kind of an anti-hero. Well, apparently he's a pretty violent character at times, especially when he was originally conceived, and he's softened a bit over the years, is my understanding. But did you know that the original version of the Black Adam movie received an R rating? And not just the original version, but they had to make quite a few cuts. Let's see what they got to say. Producers Bo Flynn and Hiram Garcia revealed that Black Adam went not 1, not 2, but 4 rounds with the MPA, that's the organization that rates movies in America, before it finally landed a more audience-friendly PG-13 rating. Holy shit, 4 times. Wonder what they cut. Garcia said, we really wanted to make sure that we honored the character of Black Adam. One of the things he's known for is his aggression and violence. I like the guy already. And to do a Black Adam movie that just wouldn't have been authentic. So we always went into this knowing that we were going to push it as far as we did. Flynn said, the other producer, that the film originally had around 10 distinct moments of violence that may have been on the MPA's radar, and that several of them were cut. Now, real quick before we jump into that, the reason he said may have been is because the MPA, which this is kind of bullshit, because they're not they are a regulatory body, but they're not an official regulatory body. You do not have to be rated by the MPA. They are not a federal thing. They are an independent. But they've been adopted across most businesses to where if you want most theaters will not show your movie unless it's rated by the MPA. And I think there's some other things surrounding it, but it's not a legal thing. The government does not have any control over the MPA. The MPA is totally independent, and seeing as how they are independent, one of their things is when they rate a movie, they will not tell you specifically why they're rating something a certain way. They will tell you, oh, it's rated R for bloody violence or rape or, language, something like that. They'll tell you that stuff, but they will not tell you specific scenes. And the idea is so they don't start to tell you what to edit, how to edit your film, how to cut out. The idea is good, but apparently they kind of do that anyway. But the reason he said they could have had issue with is because they just tell them, hey, you got an R rating for these themes. They didn't tell him what specifically. So they're making an assumption is that it was these 10 moments. Anyway, moving on. There are some personal moments. This is Flynn again. There are some personal moments that we really love, but we had to let them go. But we never compromised. We never had to cut a scene. So I'm assuming they never had to cut a full scene. They just had to cut some scenes down. Black Adam hits theaters October 21st, 2022. All right, so it sounds like, I mean, we see this with a lot of movies, but maybe not so much with superhero movies, because superhero movies, they go in typically knowing that they want a PG-13 rating, so they don't film these, they film these things, they know what they can and can't put in these movies. But it sounds pretty cool that, I don't know if this movie's going to be any good or not. I've heard very conflicting things. I've tried to stay away from the reviews, which is what I do with movies that I know I'm going to review. But I have caught some things people have said. I've heard good and bad. I haven't heard anything saying it's absolute dog shit or anything, but I've heard some people saying, oh, it's just kind of run-of-the-mill. But then I've heard a lot of people saying that they really enjoy it. Lots of not fan fiction. They cater to the fans quite a bit. So I think it's cool that they are at least trying to stay in line with the character and what he's known for, and seeing as how his character, my understanding is that this character is known for being aggressively violent. Good. That's good that they're doing that. I do wonder, are we going to see these R-rated versions when it comes to home media, Blu-ray, DVD, all that stuff, 4K? Are we going to get the unrated or the R-rated version of these movies, of this movie? I don't know. They're weird about doing that with some PG-13 movies when they involve a brand sometimes, because that could tarnish the brand. But I think they'll do it because they are kind of leaning into how he's like, you know, the not bad guy, but like the bad boy of DC, if you will. He's still a good guy, but he's kind of the bad boy. So I really think it depends on how well this movie goes over, and we may actually see these R-rated versions at some point down the line. Whether they'll be included with the PG-13 version or not, I don't know. I bet they'd probably release like a special, I can't remember the name of this director, but like a Snyder Cut-esque kind of thing. But I doubt they cut that much. They didn't give an amount of time they cut out of it. They just said 10 scenes. I don't think they said a time. No, they didn't. They just said it was a lot. They cut a substantial amount or whatever. But I doubt it was much. Probably just a few minutes. There probably will be some R-rated version. And I doubt this was a hard R. Probably very Zack Snyder's Justice League R rating. They're making it sound as if it was mostly violence. So one wonders, you know, how much violence, what did they put in here? What would this have been? I don't know, but there is, for those of you that are fans, like I said, I'm just not a fan of Black Adam. I don't know enough about him. If you are a fan of Black Adam, you should be happy to hear that they did do the character justice. Now, they did have to nerf him a bit, apparently, to get it in that PG-13 area, but that makes sense. I don't think that an R-rated Black Adam movie would have worked. Not financially. He's not Deadpool, you know? I think that Black Adam always needed to be PG-13. With The Rock and as much money as it costed, you have to make this movie PG-13 to reap the rewards, reap the benefits. But I think it is cool that we do know that there is an R-rated version out there. They actually did shoot this stuff, and maybe that still means that those fans that want that version will have an opportunity to see it at a later date when it comes to home media, which probably won't be that long. So look forward to that. Whenever it does come out, I imagine we will see that version. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Are you looking forward to Black Adam in general, or are you looking forward to an R-rated version of Black Adam? Do you think that Black Adam should just be PG-13? Have you seen Black Adam, or are you one of the few that's been able to see it in advance already? And what'd you think? But let us know in the comments below what you think if you're looking forward to this alternate version of Mr. Adam of the Black. Okie doke. Let's move right along. Looks like my man Fright is our talkative one in the chat today. Says, Nick made a out of theaters reaction to Black Adam. Yeah, I know I did. Yeah, me and Nick, we talked about, because we talk quite a bit. We video call a lot. We talk quite a bit off camera and throughout, pretty much every day. And I know his thoughts on it. He didn't spoil anything for me. There is one thing about it that was spoiled for me already, but I think it was pretty much spoiled for everybody. And it actually plays into a story from today, but I'm not going to go out there and spoil that. But I know his thoughts on the movie, and I respect that. I mean, he and I, we agree for the most part on movies, but I don't know. I'm still going to give this one a try tomorrow. I'll probably come out thinking about the same. I'll probably be a little bit easier on it than him. Typically, I'm a little easier on these kind of movies than he is. Sometimes. It really depends. I mean, I might come out and just be like, that sucked. But I know that he's kind of like swung back and forth a bit about how it just sucked outright, and then at times he was like, I mean, it was all right. He didn't think it was great, that's for sure, though. Black Adam sounds like it's giving me Terminator Judgment Day vibes. Terminator Judgment Day? Terminator 2? Like Terminator... How so? Terminator 2 Judgment Day is one of the greatest action films ever made. You think Black Adam's going to be one of the greatest action films ever made? I feel like we've... some lines have crossed there somewhere. I mean, maybe you're really looking forward to Black Adam, Fright. I don't know. Yeah, I need some clarification there, man. Judgment Day is absolutely one of the best... yeah, because of the R rating thing. Well, Terminator was R rated, and Terminator 2 is rated R. I don't think it was a very hard R. It was for violence, but it wasn't. Terminator 2 wasn't like a super hard R. I actually watched that again not too long ago. Or are you thinking about Terminator, shit, what was it? Salvation. Terminator Salvation was rated PG-13, and I think there was an R-rated version of it. That was the one with the guy from Avatar. I'm just comparing the age ratings between them. Oh, okay. Well, hey, cool. Maybe. Well, all right. Let's move on to our third story of the day, and this is that other announcement that I was talking about for the day. The one I got Trachtenberg mixed up with. Twister. Everybody loves Twister, or most people do, or you should, because it's a fun as hell movie. Came out in 1995-ish, 6-ish, something I can't remember exactly when. 1996. That's when. Twister with Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt, about the tornado chasers. Fun movie. Well, people have been talking for years about why don't we get a sequel to Twister? I don't really know why. I think just whenever a movie's really popular amongst people, they're like, hey, we need a sequel. It never really struck me as a movie that we needed a sequel to, but hey, guess what? We're getting a sequel to Twister. A sequel to the 1996 blockbuster Twister has finally been greenlit and is currently seeking some very interesting names to join its ranks. Officially called Twisters. Yay. That I don't know about that. They're going the aliens route, I guess. I don't know. But apparently this one I don't I feel like they kind of already made this movie and it wasn't very good. It was that Storm, what was it called? A few years ago they had like a fire twister and everything. Not Storm of the Century. I don't remember the name of the movie, but there was a movie with tornadoes somewhere in the Midwest, and it was like devastating a town, and one of them got fire on it. I remember that was one of the big set pieces in it, but whatever. We're getting a Twister 2 called Twisters. The script for the sequel was written, it's already written, by Mark L. Smith, and will reportedly focus on the relationship between the original film's Joe, Helen Hunt, and her daughter. It was personally approved by Steven Spielberg, who was the producer. He did not direct it. He was the producer on the first one, who helped fast-track its development under the guidance of director Joseph I always screw this guy's name up. Kaczynski. However, it has stalled for some time. For those of you that don't know, Joseph Kaczynski is the director of, I'm pretty sure he's the director of Top Gun Maverick. So the guy knows a thing or two about legacy sequels, which this would definitely be a legacy sequel. Wanting to bring back Hunt as Storm Chaser Joe, they're wanting to bring back Hunt as Storm Chaser Joe, but her involvement is not yet confirmed. And Twisters likely won't enter the filming stages for some time. So they apparently are waiting for Kaczynski to come free, but this is another one where no one's locked down yet. They just have a script. It's been greenlit. We're getting the movie, but we don't know who's directing it, and we don't know who's going to be in it. They want Helen Hunt in it, which I bet she'll come back for it. And they want Kaczynski to do it, which he apparently was attached to it, but nothing was official. But now while they were waiting on all this, he went off to do some movie with Apple. So I guess it really depends. They were talking to some other people. Trachtenberg was rumored to be one of them, but he said no, he is not making that movie specifically. There's some other people they've been talking to, but they really want Joseph Kosinski, and I understand why. He made fucking Top Gun Maverick, probably the ultimate legacy sequel besides something like Fury Road. So either way, regardless of who's going to be in it, we know Bill Paxton unfortunately won't be in it because he passed away a few years back in 2016, I believe it was. But Helen Hunt, I bet she'll come back. I feel like I feel like she'll come back to this movie. But Kosinski, whether he'll come back or not, or he'll come on board or not, who knows? But we'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. Since they've announced it, that means they're at least doing pre-production. But it's probably going to be a little while till we get this movie. I'm going to guess maybe about 3 years. But that's about all the news we got on that right there. Is that we're getting another Twister? Are you guys excited? I ain't gonna lie, I'm not really. I love Twister. I think it's an awesome movie, and a sequel could be cool, I guess. It just really depends. I mean, if the story's right, if there's a fun story there, because that's what the first movie was. It wasn't totally believable. It was just fun. So, I mean, if they got like just a fun as hell story like the first one, I'm on board. But I can't sit here and say that I'm like super hyped about it because I have no idea. None of the same people besides Spielberg at this point are involved. He knows what he's doing. I trust Steven Spielberg. If Kosinski comes on board, that makes me think that at least it'll be a very solidly made movie, and he definitely knows how to make exciting movies. So I'm not really hyped about this as of yet. I'm hyped about the potential that's there, possibly, but it's all really up in the air. It depends on that script, if it's fun or not. So we'll find out at some point in the immediate future, I'm sure. But let us know in the comments below what you think about a Twister sequel. Are you looking forward to Twisters? Titty Twisters? Twisters like Aliens instead of, I don't know. Will it be as awesome as Aliens was to Alien? Probably not. But hey, as long as it's a fun movie, that's all I'm asking for. Let us know in the comments below if you're interested in this and what you're looking forward to out of your Twister sequel. Alrighty. Looks like Fright says, "Cause Black Adam sounds like an extreme gory movie." You know, I doubt that. I doubt that it was really that gory. What they did shoot, what they had to cut out of it, I bet it was like just violence as far as like, like toss it. Like they probably. Well, I think whenever we do see this rated R version, it is going to be a light R. I mean, I think we'll see it and we'll be like, oh yeah, that's a bit more brutal or something. But I doubt there's going to be like people getting hearts and heads ripped out. I could be wrong. Who knows? I don't think they would have even filmed that stuff because they had to have known all along, hey, we're going for a PG-13 rating. So they probably just pushed it as far as they could. And they went a little bit too far in some moments. So they had to tone some stuff back. I highly doubt anything is like that, like graphic. It's probably violent, like brutality, things like that. But I doubt it's that graphic, like gory and all that. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but who knows? Twister like the game? No. Oh my God, Fright. Tell me you've seen Twister. Tell me you know what Twister is. Somebody's here and my hot potato here. Okay, yeah. Hang on just a second there. I don't have any mods in the chat right now, so I'll take care of it. Oh shit, I can't. I gotta go over here. Oh, did somebody mod him out? What happened there? Huh. I'm looking at my chat. I see, where are you coming from? Oh well. I just got spammed in the chat by a fucking bot, but they're not showing up on actual YouTube, but they're okay, whatever. All right, anyway, no, I never saw it. I was non-existent when it came out. You can look at movies that are older than you, though. In fact, I know you have. Hellraiser, you talked about that one. Nightmare on Elm Street recently. Those are definitely older. Yeah, Twister's a good time, man. You should check it out. It's a dumb, fun movie. It's just a fun, exciting disaster flick. It's a good time. Spielberg's behind it, so you know it's going to be, for the most, he's got a pretty good track record. Alrighty, so is this where I was going to do? Yeah, let's do an unboxing. Let's break up the monotony just a bit, and do a little unboxing here for a moment. So what is it I'm unboxing today? What are we going to be looking at? What is in this mystery package that I got on my doorstep yesterday? Actually, funny story concerning this thing. I got it. I don't even know when I got it. I knew that I ordered it, but I did not think I was going to get it as quick as I did. I have 2 dogs outside, and they will tear up anything you leave outside. So we've got like this new thing on the front porch where you like, or it was on the front porch. We moved it over to where our cars, we park our cars separate from the house in this little covered area. But over there, because that's where our driveway pulls in, that's where UPS and everybody pulls in. Hang on just a minute, everybody. Just one sec. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, we got like this little thing. It's like a box, and you lift it, and that's where you put packages so the dogs can get a hold of it. So I was out there, and I totally I forgot about it, and I forgot about this thing because I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a few weeks. And one of my kids looked in there. They were asking, "What is that thing?" And I was like, "Oh, it's where you can put packages." Now, I wasn't expecting any packages, so I didn't really think. And they opened it, and they're like, "There's something in there." I was like, "No, there's not. Shut up." They're like, "No, there really is." I found it in there. So I'm assuming it came yesterday, and I just got it last night. But I don't know. It could have been there for a day or two. But I ordered it not long ago. So anyway, you're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? What did you order? Well, what I ordered came from Steam. And it's the Steam Dock. Yes, I ordered a Steam Dock. Some of you are probably like, oh, God, who cares? Not the Steam Deck. I've already got that. I got this back at the end of last year. But the Steam Deck has a dock that they have been advertising since they came out with the Steam Deck, but it has not been available. They haven't made it available until now. They just released the other day, that's why I was surprised that it got here so quick. That, hey, the Steam Dock is now available, the official Steam Dock. Now, there have been other docks, and I showed this on the show before, such as this one. Let's get a little bit closer up. This is an aftermarket dock that I've been using. It's got 3 USB 3.0s, an HDMI power, and a Ethernet port on it. And it just, the way it works, sits on there like that. And it's got this cord right here that plugs into the top of the Steam Deck. Well, plug in. Now, what I don't like about this thing, you got to kind of like move it over that way. This cord is just barely too short, and it puts a lot of tension right here, which in turn puts tension in on my port, and I don't like that. It's just, it works, but I feel like over time it's going to do damage. It's going to put stress on this port, and I am not wanting to screw up this port because that's how you charge it. That's how you dock it. That's how you do everything is through that port. So I wasn't wanting to screw that up. So as soon as this dock, the official dock from Steam came available, I said, hey, you know what? I am going to buy that. A few specs about it before we jump into it, which I have right here I can pull up. No? Okay. It looks like, well, it costs $89. It says expect 1 to 2 weeks delivery. It did not take that. It didn't even take a week. I ordered it whatever day it became available. The day that it became available is when I ordered it, which would, I don't know, maybe like, what is today? Today's Tuesday. It was probably like Thursday or Friday. So it wasn't very long that I ordered it and I got it. But it's $89 USD. It comes with a USB-C to the deck, just like that one does. It also has a DisplayPort 1.4, which this one I had did not. It has HDMI 2.0, which that's the same. Power, of course. It has a gigabyte Ethernet, which that's interesting because as far as I know, as of right now, now they could update this with firmware, I don't think the Steam Deck will accept gigabyte Ethernet. It'll accept Ethernet, but it's like throttled down to like, it's lower than that. I could be wrong. They may have already changed that. At one point in time, it was not up to a gigabyte. And instead of the 3.0 USB jacks, it has 3 USB 3.1 jacks. So that's pretty cool. It looks like multi-stream, transparent, enabling multi-monitor support, FreeSync support. Yeah, just right. I mean, it's a dock. Okay, I mean, it's not like lighting the world on fire, but I will say that the docking option for this thing is pretty damn cool. Like to play these, I get to play my PC games on my TV easily. Like it's very seamless. I did enjoy doing that. Plus, you know, I play them on the go as well, but it's pretty cool to just be able to plug it in and bam, all your stuff is right there. You essentially have a PC, a mini PC you hook up to your computer. So let's open this thing up. I have not even opened the package or anything. Like it is still in the, what is this, FedEx? I don't even know who sent this. Yeah, FedEx. FedEx dropped it off. So good on them for using my new little thing there. All right, so let me move that out of the way a little bit. I didn't set up like my other table or anything because it's just a quick unboxing. Not that big of a deal. I'll just show you guys on the regular camera. Not a very big box because it's not a very big item. Comes wrapped in plastic for some reason. I'm having to hold it up high because my camera's up higher than it used to be. So it's like you can't see the table. There's the very interesting looking box. It's got like this whole cow thing going on. That's actually the Steam Deck logo, but just folded. But yeah, there's much like the Steam Deck itself. It's a very basic ass box, very unassuming. Let's cut the plastic open or the little seal. Ta-da! Yeah, it's a dock. All right, so let's open. There's a lot of box here. Why do I have so much box for such a little product? Honestly, now that I think about it. So there it is. That's a big box. There's something else in here. Does it come with its own power? Because the one that I use, my other one, my aftermarket one, I have to. We'll look at that in a minute. I have to use the Steam Deck's power cable, which is fine. I mean, oh, it does. It comes with its own power cord. Cool. Which looks to be just another Steam Deck power cord. You got this little tray. And that's it. Much like the Steam Deck itself, it comes with a ridiculously thick instruction booklet. Look at this thing. I mean, you're looking at it like that's not much, but this just itty bitty book for a dock, man. It's like a whole bunch of pages, but I think it's because it has like all the languages in it. It's probably only like 4 pages for my language. I don't know, but it's a whole bunch of pages. So I'm not gonna read that because I don't need it. But you get the pretty. It looks like a pretty lengthy cable for the power, which I'm happy to see that. It's just a USB-C. Now, it is a quick charger. Does this have the disconnect? No. You get your block, and I would say this cable is probably about, I don't know, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feet? Not quite 5 feet. I'd say like 5.5 feet. So that's not too bad. It is. I mean, that's what the Steam Deck uses is USB-C, but it is this is a quick charger. I do know that because anytime I plug in like another USB-C to the Steam Deck, it always tells me that's not a quick charger. It's like, you're doing slow charging. So that's cool. All right, so let's take a look at the deck or the dock itself. It is more of a it is a one-piece deal here. Unlike the other one I had, it's smaller. It's not as heavy either. The other one I had, as you can see, is it's kind of like two pieces, and they took like the actual dock piece and attached it to this holder. But that's how big it is. This is and versus the Steam Deck dock, and it's smaller in this profile as well, and definitely that way. So, yeah, the aftermarkets. Now, this is not bad. Like, if you don't want to spend $89 on this, I totally get it. This thing cost me, like, $25, if that. This is a good product. I got it on Amazon. There's nothing wrong with this. This has very much served its purpose. The only thing I have not liked about it was I wanted this to be just ever so slightly longer. But really, if I just moved my Steam Deck over slightly and it was, like, not centered with the dock, it fit fine. But it really irritated me that it wasn't centered, but that's just me. First world problems, you know. All right, so anyway, the Steam Dock. Steam Deck, is it called the Steam Dock? It should be, but I think it's just called Steam Deck Dock. Steam Deck Dock. Here's the back of it. As you can see, you've got your, I'm doing this backwards. We've got a display port right there. We've got HDMI there. That's the power. This is our Gigabyte Ethernet. I do like that everything's on the back. The other one I had, the Ethernet was on the side. And these are 3 USB 3.1, not just 3.0, but 3.1. So that's cool. Yeah, and that's it, man. It's a pretty simple thing. It looks like the top of it. I'm gonna put it on there in a minute. The connector, if you can see, has like a bit of a indentation in it, like it probably fits the top of the deck. Let's look. Where did I put my Steam Deck? Here we go. So, how am I going to hold this? See, this is why I should have had a camera at table level. So there's the dock. Ooh, it fits in there nicer. I will say that. Oh, and okay, it has like a, ooh, look at that. If you see, that is actually much more, as the other one I had, which is understandable, it's an aftermarket, is just kind of a, I mean, it held it fine. It's just a cradle, it sits in there. You could actually take that and like wiggle it around in there. This one, it conforms to it. It fits on there very nicely. Like it doesn't move once it's in there. So yeah, that's nice. It conforms to the body. It's custom made for it. And we have enough space. Look, I can even go over it. There's enough space, so I'm not putting, and I bet this, it does. It fits to the top of the deck and actually comes around the back a little bit to give it some extra support. This feels a lot nicer. Much nicer. And there it is from the front. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. Yes, it was more expensive. I like how we've got this this little nub it's got on the back. It's probably hard to see, but right there keeps it from, if it gets any pull, like pulled on back here, it doesn't allow it to rock and put stress on the actual port. I like that. That is nice. That makes me feel better about the port. Yeah, this is very nice. I mean, it is just a dock. Let's be real. That's what we're talking about here. But as far as docks go, and in comparison to the other dock that I have, it's very nice. I'm very happy with this. Cool. Let me set it down. I know you guys can't see. I want to see what it's like on a solid surface. Ooh, that's real nice. It doesn't move at all. Like when it's in there, when you set the Steam Deck in there, it is not moving. Whatever they have on there and the way that it kind of it doesn't clip in. It just sits in there. But once it's there, it just falls. It barely comes up over the front face, the lip. It kind of grabs onto it. But it comes right up. No problem. But it just sits in there just perfect. That's really nice. Now, as I said, this works just fine. I'm sure functionality-wise, they're going to be pretty much the same. I do know that a lot of these docks, these aftermarket docks, some of them have caused problems. So who knows? Once I hook this thing up, I might be like, holy shit, it's just faster and better. It does have 3.1 instead of 3.0. So overall, it's just a better. It is a bit more expensive than the generics, but you get those little conveniences like I was talking about a moment ago. It just seems like a better all around product. So yeah, I would if you're a Steam Deck user, I would absolutely recommend this. This is an awesome little product. While I haven't hooked it up yet, I'm going to assume it's going to work just like any other dock. I have used my Steam Deck in docked mode, and it works fantastic. And it is a really cool little thing, a really cool little device to use. Like when I want to go, if I want to play my PC games on my big TV upstairs, and it does allow you to remotely play your actual, like my big PC down here, my powerful gaming PC, I can stream through the Steam Deck, and since they're on the same network, it's more or less there's no lag. And I actually have a controller, an Xbox One controller that is synced to this thing that I use when I have it in docked mode. So got like a nice little setup there. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I would absolutely recommend getting it. But let me know in the comments below if any of you guys have a Steam Deck, what you think about it. I know in my last Steam Deck video I did, there was a couple that came on and said that they had them and talked about how much they loved them. Let me know, which one do you have? And do you have the Steam Deck or Steam Deck dock? And do you plan on getting it now that you've seen this? But I would say yes. I'd recommend it. It will be money well worth spent. Plus you can charge it and everything right there. It's just everything stays contained. I like it. It's going to keep everything nice and sexy. I'm going to put it with my other gaming consoles I have over here. I've already got a spot for it on the shelf, which I haven't shown you guys that yet, by the way. I'm probably going to do a walkthrough of I redid my whole room and have new shelves and my 40-something consoles I have all on display and all that. So I might do that at some point if people are interested. But anyway, let me know in the comments below if you guys are interested, and hope you enjoyed the unboxing. All righty then. Let's see. Who do we have here? Never saw it. None of this is... Yeah, okay, thanks, Jacob. I'll check it out during the movie. During the movie, I'll see... an E.T. cameo? Oh, will I see an E.T. cameo? I don't think so. In Star Wars, The Phantom Menace, there's an E.T. cameo. I don't think there's one in Twister that I'm aware of, at least. Oh, no, not the slow charge. Yeah, I know. First world problems, man. First world problems. But, yeah, I don't give a shit about slow charging. Whenever I charge something, it's usually... I'm not messing with it, so I'm just sitting it there anyway, but... Fast charging is nice. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, Antonio's here. What is up, Antonio? What's up, fellas? Sorry for the delay. No problem, man. You do what you gotta do. I know this is in the middle of the workday for a lot of people. Still getting used to the new schedule. Yeah, me too. I do like it, though. I didn't release any videos this week. Reason being, or this weekend being, I had to go buy a new car because of what I talked about in my last video, how my other car got smashed in the front, which I'm getting it fixed, but body shops are so behind right now. It's going to be like close to the beginning of the year before they're able to fix it, which it drives, but I don't want to drive around. I'm afraid I'm going to mess something up, so I don't want to drive around because the radiator's pushed back a little bit. And it's driving fine, but I just don't want to risk it. And we were planning on getting another car anyway, so we just had to go ahead and get it. So I was gone for most of this weekend, so I didn't have a chance to release any videos until Monday. No Nick today. Haha, it's nostalgic seeing me on my own. Yeah, Nick has some stuff going on with his move and everything he had to deal with, I believe is what it was. Not to put his business out there, but he said that last time. But he'll be back on Friday. And we may have a guest Friday because we're going to talk about a movie, not a new movie. How's it going? I'm all right. Thanks for asking. Can't complain for a Tuesday. It's cold as heck in Michigan. Snowed? Really? Holy crap. It is not that here. Here, I don't have it pulled up right now. It's somewhere. We consider it cold here right now. Oh, there it is. It is 64 degrees. And we're calling that cold here. So, yeah. Sunny and 64. Oh, man. May as well opt for an RV now. An RV? Oh, for Nick? Yeah, probably. 7, that'll be sick. Damn, I haven't seen a lot of snow in a long time. Yeah, I will not see snow down here where I live now. Where I used to live in Nashville, we would get maybe like one snow a year, and it'd last like maybe a day before. And it usually turned into ice before you even woke up. So it was, I hesitate to call it snow. But no, here where I live now is never going to fucking snow. What would you guys want to see? Because I'm thinking about, I'm wanting to do like more stuff with my gaming channel. Like, I hesitate to call it a tour because I don't know if there's enough for a tour, but like a more in-depth look at my collection I've amassed over time of all my consoles and stuff. Because I just stopped showing them off because I kept on getting them. I think I counted it up not long ago. I've got around 48 consoles, and I think 38 or 39 of them are unique consoles, but I've got doubles of some because of different versions. My game collection is not as big as my console collection. I mean, it is. I've got more games than consoles, but I have quite a few now. I don't know, like I say retro. Some of them aren't retro, but most of them are retro consoles. Is that something you guys would be interested in the chat in seeing at some point? Like, would it be worth me throwing a camera on that? I don't know. Oh, my new car should just be an RV. No, I feel really old. My wife picked it. I got a Buick. I keep telling you, we got a Buick now. It's a Buick Enclave. It's an SUV. I feel like an old man now. Because only old people drive Buicks. Old people and gangsters. So I have a Buick. I mean, it's nice. I will give it that. I like it. Well, in the UK, it's 18C. Normally, it would be like 13 or something. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. And I mean, I'm a professional chef too. I should know like the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit. And some things I can. 18, I think 18 is probably somewhere around like 40 or 50 degrees. Let's see. What is 18 Celsius Fahrenheit? Oh, no. You're actually right where I'm at. 18 degrees is 64.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So actually, I'm 63 degrees right now. So your temperature is pretty much exactly what mine is right now. So hey, I thought it was lower than that, but whatever. That's, as American, we do Fahrenheit. Breaking Bad Jacob Edition. Yeah. The AA show in the RV. Yeah, it'd be like Steve-O's Wild Ride. A tour would be cool. I need to take notes. I'm going to start one. It is not a cheap hobby. It can be. It doesn't have to be an expensive hobby, but if you're wanting to amass stuff quick, it can be a very expensive hobby. I'll tell you that. It doesn't have to be. It's money is definitely involved for sure, but there is some things that are ridiculously priced, especially nowadays. But they're not going down. I'll give it that. They're only going up. Some things go down. They fluctuate a bit, but retro games market. If you have anything like right now, these things you have don't seem. Of course, they don't seem retro. They're brand new. Whatever you have, video game wise, hold on to it. Don't ever get rid of it. Keep it forever. Even if you just put it in a box somewhere. One day that shit's gonna be worth money. Like, because I mean, when I was a kid, the thought of an NES being worth shit, anything at all, was like, really? Look at it now. I mean, that stuff. The shit's gonna be worth money one day. Don't let it go. Nick could be Heisenberg, and I could be Jesse. Yeah, there you go. I know what you mean about the Buick. I had a Park Avenue, and the thing was like riding on a cloud. It is. I mean, that Enclave is very nice. I mean, it's really nice. It's got lots of little nice features. It wasn't the most expensive car in the world. It wasn't the cheapest either. But I mean, it's a nice vehicle. It's probably the nicest car, amenity-wise, that I've ever had. Celsius. Fahrenheit sometimes confuses me. See, it's the exact, the way you feel about Fahrenheit is how I feel about Celsius. It's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna be little by little for me. That's how you should do it. I jumped in whole hog, but now I've backed off. I'm more focused on the game side of things now. I was focused on consoles for a long time. That's how I got so many so quickly. I already had some, by the way, but I started to focus more on like trying to build my game collection now. I refurbished my PS4. The thing runs like it's brand new, and now I can't believe I wasted so much time with it broken. I just got my first PS4 a couple of months ago. I've put a little bit of time into it. I've been doing a lot of Saturn gaming right now. All right. I'll get to talking to this show. Will be forever long. You know what I'm talking about, Antonio. My streams. They used to be like 5 hours long. All right, let's move on to our next story, and then we'll see where the stream takes us. Maybe we'll do something else afterwards, a little something extra. Got 2 stories left. Our next story, where I lost my place. Okay, Ezra Miller is back in the news, ladies and jelly spoons, and that is because Mr. Miller has pled not guilty to felony burglary. Oh my! Amongst many of the things that he has been accused of recently. Felony burglary is one of them. Ezra Miller pled not guilty to felony burglary charges in Vermont after breaking into a neighbor's home in May 2022. Miller was charged with felony burglary into an unoccupied dwelling in Stamford, Vermont on August 8th. The charge was issued following the review of a May 1st incident in which Shaftesbury Police, that's a terrible name for a town, Shaftesbury Police say Miller stole bottles of gin, vodka, and rum from the home of their neighbor, Isaac Winnicor. What the fuck are you doing stealing alcohol, liquor, and you're a fucking millionaire? What the hell is wrong with you, man? Miller faces a maximum of 26 years in prison. Holy shit. Plus more than $2,000 in fines if found guilty. 26 years in prison? Holy crap. For breaking in and stealing some liquor? Damn. He ain't going to fucking prison. Come on now. There's no fucking way this guy's going to prison. I do wonder if he'll catch a charge, though. He might technically be a felon now. He'll probably get out of it. I mean, that's the beauty of being rich. I don't see anybody. I mean, who the hell? Who's going to go to prison for 26 years? That's one of those situations where, like, if they threw the book at them, the absolute worst, but it would never stick because they'd appeal it and all that. Nobody's going to jail for 20. The guy's a fucking nut. I'm not saying he's not. But ain't nobody going to jail for 26 years for breaking into somebody's house and stealing some liquor. It's just not happening. Least of all, a fucking millionaire. He's not. He'll definitely have that $2,000. How are you going to have $2,000 in fines? That's it. And 26 years in prison. Are you serious? Hell, I'd be like, can I add like some money to that and get some of those years taken off? Holy shit. Damn. I don't know. He come on now. He is not. Ezra Miller's not going to prison. This is the least of his issues. He's got like assault charges and everything. I don't know if he actually has charges. People have accused him of assault, which we've seen video. He's done it. I don't know if any charges have been thrown his way. He probably paid them off. So I imagine these. I don't know. This isn't. This is criminal charges though. This isn't like where you can pay somebody off. I think once criminal charges are filed, you can't pull them back. I mean, he could technically go to these people and be like, hey, I'll give you $1 million to shut the fuck up, or however much he's got. I don't know. But I don't think once they're put out there, they can pull them. They can say, never mind. In civil cases, you can, but I don't know about criminal cases, which this is a criminal case. Whether he'll get found guilty or not, he will probably do some type of plea deal for a reduced sentence and a reduced charge, and they'll probably bring it down to a misdemeanor so he can get that expunged, and he'll probably, or I don't think a misdemeanor, you don't even have to get expunged, but he'll probably get it dropped down to a misdemeanor. He'll pay some crazy fine. It'll probably be a lot more than $2,000, slap on the wrist, probation, something like that. I guarantee it. That's how it's going to go. Ezra Miller is not going to jail for this. He's not going to jail for this. Whether he goes to jail or not, if any of the other stuff gets lobbed at him. I don't know, but he ain't going to jail for stealing, what was it, gin, vodka, and rum. It's just not happening. I'm not trivializing it. I mean, if somebody broke into my house and stole anything, I'd be really pissed and want them to get thrown under the bus, or under the book. But it's not happening. It's just not. But I do wonder if any of these other things that have happened to him, because this is the most recent one. I think this is the most recent thing that I heard about that he got in trouble for. Because it just happened in August. Well, it happened in May. So what about all that other shit? Like the shit in Hawaii and all that? He got arrested for that stuff. So what's going on with that stuff? Or has he already been to court for that and he got off on it? I don't know. But, the guy is at least keeping quiet. He's much like WB, just keeping his fucking mouth shut. He's off trying to get help or whatever, supposedly. Whether he really is or not, I don't know. But he's not he's not being like out in the public being a fucking menace anymore. Fucking psycho. I do hope the guy gets some help, because clearly something's wrong there. Whether it's an actual mental issue he has, or if he just was able to run unchecked for so long that he just didn't give a shit. Because make no bones about it. Everybody's talking about how he's crazy, he's crazy, he's crazy. He might not be. He might just be entitled, and he was left unchecked and able to run around doing whatever the hell he wants so long that he just kept on doing whatever the hell he wants, because he wasn't really getting in trouble for it until it all kind of like came to a head. So make no mistake, he might not be crazy. I think he is. Some of the crazy ass shit I saw and heard him saying, but especially on the story that I reported a few weeks ago, where apparently he was marrying a spider goddess and he was Jesus Christ and he was coming back to see the apocalypse coming. If any of that's true, yeah, dude, you're fucking nuts. But hope he's getting help. Sounds like he's at least somewhere where he can get help if he's open to it. And he'll atone for his misgivings. But let us know in the comments below what you think about Ezra Miller. And if Nick was here, I'd ask him, so Nick, are you still going to see The Flash? And he'd say, no, I'm not fucking seeing the fucking movie. So I am. I'm still going to go see that movie. I can't wait to see it. I just want to see what kind of shit show it could possibly be. Watch, it'll be awesome, and we won't know what to say. The Flash is just going to be like the most badass superhero movie ever, and we're going to be like, man, I really don't want to watch it. I don't want to like this movie because Ezra Miller's a psycho, but it's so good. I just wonder. I don't know. We'll find out next summer, I believe it comes out. But let us know in the comments below what you think about this. If you think Ezra is going to get 26 years in prison and a $2,000 fine, or if he's just going to get off pretty much. Let us know. I see the comments over here moving. What are we saying here? I would give all my game consoles to my kids if I have them when I'm older. Hell no. My kids break shit. They can't have it. I don't even let them in this room. Oh no, Miller the drug guy. Yeah, he's something. Classic 5-hour stream with you and I. It flew by so fast though. I was excited. Yeah, man, it was no thing for me each week to do a 5-hour stream. It never really felt like it. I gave a lot of stuff to my nephews, my Nintendos. Here I am 25 years later, like, can't get it back. Yeah, and dude, I can't tell you how many of these things that I've bought that I'm like, I've owned this before. If only. And I paid less for it when it was new in some cases. So I'm like, damn, if I had just held on to all that shit. And I used to hold on to stuff. There was an event that happened in my life about, what year is it? Probably 15 years ago now. Hell, damn, it's been that long. 15 years ago now, or give or take, that where I lost a lot of stuff, and that was some of the stuff I lost. Because I had, like, my old NES, my SNES, and I had, like, a Jaguar, TurboGrafx 16. I had the TurboGrafx 16 CD. Over there, right, for you, it would be the, they didn't call it the TurboGrafx 16. They called it the Power, not the Power PC. I can't remember what it was called over there. Yeah, I had all that stuff. The Genesis, my Saturn, my Dreamcast, all those old consoles I still had. And, yeah, lost a lot of that. But whatever, we're not going to talk about that. For 26 years, he needs some rehab. Yeah, he does definitely need that. That's a lot of liquor. That's the thing. He just stole, like, a couple of bottles. He, like, broke in. I think he was under the influence of something. And he broke in and just took it and then left. Still, dude, you're fucking rich. What the hell are you doing? Basically, Ezra Miller watched too much American Psycho. He wanted to be Patrick Bateman. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't kill somebody. End up killing somebody. That was Big Bad CEO just because of those buy-sell trade places. The games? Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to our last story of the day. I know today's a little bit more of a chill stream because that uptight Nick's not here. Just joking. We love you, Nick. All right. Now, this is an interesting story. This is a story I have been looking forward to talking about since I saw this article. This is an article actually someone I know was reading, and they mentioned to me, and I was like, what? And once I looked into it, I said, please send me that. I'm going to talk about that shit. Because this is some... this is an interesting individual. I would like to speak about Beetlejuice for a few minutes. And no, Beetlejuice is not the interesting individual I'm talking about. Beetlejuice is definitely an interesting individual. But what I want to talk about is someone's, I'm going to say hot take, but then that hot take just gets dumb, about Beetlejuice. Now, Beetlejuice is pretty universally beloved. I'm not going to say everyone out there loves Beetlejuice, but I think the vast majority of people, at least, the Beetlejuice is fun. They find Beetlejuice to be fun. A lot of people love it. And the ones that don't love it, I think can at least acknowledge its relevance. And it's more or less it's a harmless comedy. And how it put Tim Burton on the map, which it did. Well, that is until I read this article. This is an article that says Beetlejuice sucks. So I guess the question is, and here it's what they say sucks about Beetlejuice that's so made me say I want to talk about this. It's not so much that Beetlejuice is bad. It's Jesus Christ. Let's just jump into this thing so you guys can see how crazy this is. Or maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments that no, they're 100% right. All right, so in an article by, and I'm going to trash this last name, I'm sorry, honestly, Catherine J. Igu, it's I-G-O-E. Igu. I don't know how you pronounce your last name, I'm sorry. But Catherine, she wrote, now I just took some excerpts. I didn't take like the whole article. I have the article, but I'm not going to read through the whole thing for you guys. I'll leave a link to it in the comments if you're interested in reading the whole thing, because there is more. But just some highlights to it all. Catherine said, I never liked Beetlejuice. Okay, fine. To each his own. I'm not saying you gotta like Beetlejuice. That's fine. Everybody has their likes and dislikes. Parts of it, she does mention, by the way, I do want to say, she does mention after saying that she acknowledges its relevance. I don't know how you couldn't acknowledge Beetlejuice's relevance, but she acknowledges its relevance. Says it is a relevant film. It's a very big film. Springboarded Tim Burton, etc., etc. Now, she said as far as the things she doesn't like, she says parts of it have aged badly, and some parts were always bad. Now, you're reading this, and you're like, okay, what's she going to say? It's like bad acting or something like that. The story's bad. It's too goofy. Just not her cup of tea. What's going on here? Oh, no. It gets better. And she says, now the cast, mercifully, is not one of those bad parts. So she says the cast is good, and they all do a respectable job. I'm like, okay, cool. All right. What's the problem here? I'm not seeing the problem. She does mention how his name, the guy who played the dad, and he was also in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I can't remember his name. He is apparently his name is like on the tip of my tongue. Jeffrey Jones. Jeffrey Jones is on the sex offender list. There was some stuff about some pictures going on with him, blah, blah, blah. It was after this movie. That was years and years and years after this movie. You can't really blame this movie for it. Hey, you want to say that aged badly? Okay, I guess. You really blame the movie for that? It is what it is. The performance is still the same as it was before we knew that he did that. So, He did a thing. He didn't touch anybody, but he was wanting to take pictures of somebody who was a minor or something like that. I don't know all the details. Look it up yourself. But I don't really hold that against the movie or even the performance, because the performance, I don't dislike the performance now any more or less than before I knew that, because that doesn't really change anything within this film. Anyway, moving on. So the cast is good. Here's where things get interesting. And this is why, after reading this, all I could do was look over at the person who sent this to me and say, I fucking hate people in the world we live in right now. All right, so moving on. Cast is good. There are a few non-white characters, and the only queer-coded one, Otho, is a bitchy interior designer. Yep. That's where this article's going. Those of you that know this film will know that Otho is he's like, I guess their interior designer or something like that. Their designer that I guess he doesn't live at the house, but he's always there, of the family, Lydia's family, the people that move into the Bateman's house in Beetlejuice. The movie never says he's queer or anything. I mean, he's just acting very like design, like that stereotypical 1980s interior designer. That's what you would think that they would act like. I mean, yes, it's a stereotype. The movie's full of them. That's part of its fun. But apparently she says that he is the only queer-coded. Queer-coded? I guess that means just queer person, or the person you can say is queer. I don't know. One in the movie. Why does that fucking matter? What if he wasn't? What if he was straight-coded? Would it matter then that there was no one in the movie that was... What do you mean queer-coded? Are you saying the only person who is queer, or the only person who comes across as queer? At that point, you're saying that you can identify queer people just by looking at them? Are you fucking kidding me? I've known tons of gay people throughout my life, or queer people, that you couldn't tell unless they told you, hey, at night I like sleeping with someone who's the same sex as me. That's really fucking bullshit that you're going to sit there and act as if all gay people, you can just tell, like you have gaydar and all that shit. I mean, come on. That's a joke, yeah, but you can't... No, okay, there are some flamboyantly gay people that, sure, you can look at, but you can't even make that assumption, really. There's been people I've known, according to what they say at least, that you would say, yeah, they're gay, and then just hearing them talk and the way they act, but then they tell you, no, I'm not. I'm straight. They're just more effeminate, and it's usually males. Or even women that are just kind of quote-unquote butch. That doesn't mean they're gay. Some cases they are. But to sit here and say that all gay people, you can tell because that's queer-coded? I mean, how are you know Otho's gay in this movie? You don't know that. He's a fucking character, first of all. It never comes up. So no, he's not gay or straight. He's just a fucking character. But the implication with your wording here is saying that you can tell someone's sexuality just by talking to them, or just by like seeing. No, you can't. That irritates me. But whatever. I guess I didn't think that was the world we lived in. I mean, I think that was part of that whole thing about all the snowflake shit, is that, oh, don't do that. Don't like assume things about people. But whatever. You're assuming Otho's gay. We'll roll with it. I'm sorry. Also, to punish Otho, because in the end of the film, Beetlejuice starts attacking the characters in the film, the living characters, because Beetlejuice is a ghost. To punish Otho, Beetlejuice dresses him in a powder blue suit. Everyone else gets physically harmed or killed, but obviously for Otho, bad fashion is a fate worse than death. This is not a comedy article. I'm fucking serious. This is what the person wrote. This is one of the reasons the movie's bad. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, for that character, it is a fate worse than death, because he's so far stuck up his fucking ass fashion designer. It has nothing to do with his sexuality. He put him in a fucking bad suit. For Otho, that character, yes, that's the fucking joke. That, oh, I'm in this blue suit, oh my god. It's supposed to be funny. It has abso-fucking-lutely nothing to do with his sexuality. Moving on, though. The subtext that if you die by suicide, you become a civil servant is apparently a bad thing in the film. It's a fucking joke. Are you kidding? That is one of the jokes. That when you commit suicide, you were a civil servant there in the afterlife. Jesus Christ. What would you have rather them say? You want them to go by what the Bible says? If you commit suicide, you go to fucking hell? I mean, would that make you happy? Or is it just you commit suicide? What are you wanting here? I don't understand. What would you rather? What would you rather them say here? It's a fucking joke. It's a... Whew! All right, moving on. Teenage Lydia, Winona Ryder, begins to experience actual suicidal ideation. And it's glossed over, easily resolved with a single encouraging conversation. Seriously? Yes. Her character is supposed to be all like emo before emo was a thing. And that's why she sees the dead and she's all like, oh, emo, terrible, death. That's part of her character. That's part of the joke. Yes, she does want to die at one point in the film because that's what she's seeing these dead characters, and they do come out and they do have a conversation with her about how no, you don't want to do that, and then she doesn't anymore. Yeah, lots of things are resolved like that in films because they're hour-and-a-half long fucking movies. And while I understand if this was a real condition with a teenager in real life, it wouldn't be settled with a conversation. It would probably take years of therapy and all that, but it's a fucking movie that doesn't last years and years. It's a movie that is an hour-and-a-half long over the course of like a few days. Well, depending on, there is a time jump at one point, but you get what I'm saying. And let's not forget, it's a fucking comedy. A screwball fucking comedy about ghosts, ghouls, some guy that you got to say his fucking weird-ass name 3 times for him to come and exorcise real people. They have a goddamn book in the thing teaching you how to be dead. Seriously? This is the hill you want to die on. This is where you want to go. You wrote a fucking article. You wrote an official article on an official news website about this. Let that sink in. Moving on, though, because there is more. Beetlejuice is an actual sexual predator, far past the point of simply indicating that he's a bad guy. He assaults Barbara Maitland, Gina Davis's character, when he meets her. In fact, he's gleefully can't talk. Every time he meets a woman, living or dead, he hits on and tries to marry Lydia, who's a teenager. Get the fuck out of here. What are you talking? Come on. It is never... Yes, her character is a teenager. And I guess he's an adult, but he's like hundreds of fucking years old and a ghost. It is never once made to be weird like that. You made it weird like that. It's goofy. He needs to marry a person so he can come out into the world. I can't remember the exact. Those are the rules in the end of the movie. That's what he tells her. I've got to get married so I can get out of here. So you say you'll marry me and I'll get rid of these people. That's the deal. It is never said, yes, he's a fucking horn dog. That's his character. He's despicable. He's always like grabbing up on women and doing all that stuff. That's his character. It's funny. It's okay for despicable behavior to be funny within that type of context. The movie is not okaying that type of behavior. The movie is looking at an exaggerated version of this behavior so that we can laugh at it because it is so exaggerated that we know this isn't serious. This is not a real thing. I mean, beyond the fact that it's a fucking ghost in a goddamn movie doing it, it's not a serious thing, so we can laugh at it. If it was like a stone cold fucking drama and these things were happening, no, probably wouldn't be laughing at it because it would be much more serious, much more closer to home. This is a goddamn movie about a fucking 100-year-old ghost who exorcises people that lives in a fucking model in the attic of some dead people. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, Lord, Jesus. Okay. Now, those are the bad parts about the movie, apparently. Now let's talk about her feelings on it. While it might seem clever and satirical to the adult viewer, it is alarming to show someone too young to know better. I just want to point out that I saw this movie in theaters. It came out in 1988 or 87, one of those. So I would have been between 7 and 9 when it came out, depending on what part of the year. I remember seeing the movie, but I don't remember. I would have been probably like 8 or 9, honestly. Let's go with 8. Let's say 8. I was 8 years old when I saw this fucking movie. So I remember vividly seeing it because I loved this movie and I loved it for years. We'll get to why I'm saying that in a minute. We'll talk about my feelings on it. Because she said that that you would show a younger viewer this is appalling. Now, I mean, technically, it is rated PG-13, so as far as the MPA is concerned, shouldn't show it to anybody under 13. At least not with parental guidance. But hey, that's whatever. Moving on. While it might seem... Oh, I'm sorry, this was just wrote. When I watched Beetlejuice for the first time at 13, the movie left me feeling oddly unsettled in a way I couldn't fully articulate. I don't want to get married to a creepy old horn dog, was one of the many things she said that apparently at 13 she thought was going to happen. What she's trying to say here is that since Lydia at one point is forced, even though she made the choice, to marry Beetlejuice, who is a old perverted horn dog, that she felt that she was going to be forced to do that when she became an adult. What the fuck kind of 13-year-old were you? I was 8. I was 8 years old. 8 goddamn years old when I saw this movie for the first time. And never did I think, oh, this means this has to happen. Nothing in that movie did I ever say to myself, oh, this is a reality and it has to happen. No, I fucking knew at 8 years old that this is not reality. This shit, in no way, shape, form, or fashion is any of this real. I knew it was satire. I don't even know if I knew what satire was. I would, if you had said, hey, how would you describe this at 8 years old? I probably wouldn't have been like, oh yes, it's a very satirical take on this. No, I probably wouldn't have used the word satire, but I understood what satire was. I understood what I knew what I was seeing was heightened versions of things. I knew that these characters I was seeing were stereotypes of people out there in the world that were heightened for comedy. I knew that this wasn't a serious fucking movie. None of the things in this were real. I didn't look at Beetlejuice getting married to this teenager and say, hey, I'm going to have to marry an old horn dog, or me being the male, when I'm an old horn dog, I'm going to have to marry a fucking teenager. I never looked at it like that because who the fuck would? Nobody. What are you talking about? And at 13, you looked at that? You were like, there's something, you're missing something then. Because at 13, you definitely shouldn't be looking at this movie this way. But anyway, she goes on to say, and this is her right. This is her right. It's her children. I'll never tell someone how to raise their own damn kids. But this just goes in that same mindset. She says, I will be willing to show this movie to my daughter when she's older. But there'll be some contextualization about the lack of sensitivity in 80s films and a lot of pausing to explain. For what? What? I'm sorry. Let me reread that for you guys. Let me put that into... Speaking of contextualization, let me contextualize that for you, what she just said. If her daughter happens to be watching this, which I doubt she is. What this means is when you're old enough... Let's get in close. When you're old enough, she'll allow you to see this movie, but she's going to explain to you about how everything, all these things she just said are so terrible. And I guess she's going to tell you, like, spoon feed you as she walks through and say, now, honey, railings don't really turn into big snakes that'll attack you. Do you understand that? It was the 80s, and people weren't as fucking soft in the goddamn head as we are now. And they knew how to take a fucking joke. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you, woman? There ain't nothing in Beetlejuice that is, like, offensive in that way. Come on. And if you are... Oh, all right. I'm not going to say nothing, because who am I to say who's offended by what? But if you are offended by something in Beetlejuice, I'm sorry. I'm usually pretty open to these things. And I'll be like, hey, you know what? Just don't watch it, whatever. You're fucking stupid. Get the fuck out of here. You're too fucking soft. You are not going to survive in the world. If Beetlejuice, motherfucking Juice said it 3 times. If Beetlejuice offends you, you are not going to make it out in this world. Not the world I live in. And I live in the real world. And that's the world where we all are forced to live. You ain't going to make it. This is fucking ridiculous. It's a comedy movie. all you're going to do is you're going to pause throughout this film with your child and suck every bit of goddamn fun out of it. So yeah, they're not going to want to watch this movie at all because they're going to be like, that movie sucks because everything was sucked the fuck out of it by you. Man, this is what kills me about nowadays. People take just simple pleasures in life. These fun things. Beetlejuice is just a fun, harmless goddamn movie. Pretty much beloved by all. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you say I don't like it because it just doesn't click with me and I don't care for the character, the movie, the story, I'm cool with that. I ain't going to tell you you're wrong. Because there's no movie out there, including Beetlejuice, that satisfies every single person in the world. But to give the movie shit over this stuff, get your 2022 bullshit out of my 80s movie. Now, I do understand there are some 80s movies you can look back at and say, woo, that would never happen nowadays. And some of it is rough. But Beetlejuice ain't the one. Ain't nothing in Beetlejuice 2 out there because it's all satire. And it's clearly satire. It ain't even like underlying. It is clear fucking satire. So, get the fuck out of here. It's getting hot. So you need to go the fuck on before you melt, Snowflake. Just what the fuck? This is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, maybe I'm crazy. I haven't even looked at the comments the whole time I've been saying this because I wanted to get that stuff off my chest, and I know it was kind of off the cuff, if you will. But I am all about people being able to express themselves, people being able to like what they like, and all of that. But when you come at me, or if you put out there into the world a dumb fucking take like this, you're gonna get that in return. It is what it is. You put it out there. And this is ridiculous. Like I said a minute ago, you don't like the movie, because of the story, things like that. Whatever. Cool. No problem. I disagree. Well, whatever, that's fine. This is dumb. I'm going to call you on it. But let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong, in your opinion, rather. If you think that, no, Beetlejuice is highly offensive. And it just shouldn't be played. They should edit it down. Whatever. I don't know. If you think that these things that she mentioned are that terrible. Or not that terrible. If they're terrible at all. There's nothing to point something out in this movie that I can't even speak. I just said word. I don't even know what that was that came out of my mouth. Just let me know in the comments if there truly is something in this movie that is truly that offensive. And maybe I'm just not seeing it. It's a possibility. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, though. Beetlejuice is fucking awesome. Come on. Just have a good time. Jesus. All right. On that note, let's look at the comments and see if you guys agree with any of it. Now, I don't require anyone to agree with anything I say. But I would be interested to hear. I know the chat's small today, but I would be interested to hear what you guys think of it. What's up with the guys? Some type of kleptomania. Basically, Ezra Miller watched too much. Oh, yeah. All right, so Antonio says, I love the cartoon as much as the movie. I remember the cartoon where they were friends. He's always like, Babs! Maybe he said babes. I don't remember. I remember the cartoon, though. I had a good time with the cartoon. Yeah, Nick and Jacob is a rudimentary pillar to this show. The unbreakable duo. Yeah. Breakable only for this episode, though. We're going to have to get Jacob to start gaming again, too. I miss those streams. I miss them. I like doing them. It was just locking down every single Wednesday night at this time I had to. That was the problem. So I do need to do it. I need to do some of those. Who's on a list? Jeffrey Jones. Yeah, Jeffrey Jones. He was the one. Jeffrey will be doing the sex offender shuffle. He actually got arrested, too, by the way, twice for not registering himself properly in the states he moved to. Florida and California, I believe it was. Queer Coded. Who says that sounded like the Matrix? Speaking facts. Well, thank you, Antonio. The article is so controversial and problematic. Seems it's stricken Jacob's. It has, man. These things irritate me, man. I just feel like people are looking for issues. They're looking for problems, and they're finding them, but they're not there. They're making problems up, and that's a lot of shit out there in the world nowadays, man. It's like people ain't got nothing else to do, so they're just trying to find fucking problems. Just enjoy your fucking life. Or leave Beetlejuice out of it. I remember seeing a lot of early 90s movies in theaters too, having my eyes covered by mom. At 13, I was watching American Pie on repeat. Right? I mean, you got it. Are there some movies out there? I'm not one for censorship, honestly, but I don't blame people that do like censor stuff their kids watch. I don't look down upon them. It's, you parent your own way. As long as we get, means to an end. As long as we all get to the end game, which is your kid is a pillar of society and a functioning adult that hopefully does better than you did. That's the idea. That's the whole parenting thing right there. And I try not to censor. There's been some times I've had to. Like one of my kids in particular had like some of the stuff that was being ingested was, coming out in behaviors. And I was like, okay, all the other kids before you, this didn't happen and it wasn't a problem. We were able to talk through it and they understood, but you were not able to digest this stuff quite the same and totally, take it in and understand it. So maybe we need to limit that to a degree. So yeah, there are times it needs to happen and every kid's different. I get that. But I do try and teach knowledge instead of censorship because eventually this shit's going to be seen. But damn, man, and there are some movies I will say that are movies and other entertainment that I'm like, okay, maybe for that age, a little young. But Beetlejuice ain't it, man. Beetlejuice like I said, I would have been about 8 years old because it came out in '88. I'm pretty sure. Oh shit. I just closed out my chat. Fuck. Hang on. Maybe I can I hit forward? There we go. Never mind. It's back. I hit the back button. I logged into my chat. I hit the back button on my mouse, and I don't ever use it. Accidentally went back. But anyway. Yeah, man, I would have been like 8 years old. Let's look. I'm pretty sure it was 88. Let's put it right. Beetlejuice. Yeah, 88. Came out in 1988. March 1988. I would have been 8 years old. And I saw it when it was in theaters. Because I remember I was in Los Angeles when I saw it on a trip. So yeah, I would have been 8 years old when I saw this fucking movie. I totally never did I take any of this seriously. Never, not one fucking time. Tell them. Sounds like you had had fun at 13, Antonio. At 13, I was just beginning my horror movie journey. Oh yeah, I was seeing horror movies way before. I remember. Well, I would have seen Nightmare on Elm Street. It came out in '84, and I saw it at home. I saw it when it first came on HBO. So that would have been right after it left theaters. Because that's how movies used to do back in the early 80s. They didn't go to video so much. They would. That was right around the beginning of video. They would leave theaters, and then they'd have, like, instead of going to video after a couple of months, they'd go to HBO, Cinemax, stuff like that. I saw it when it premiered on HBO. It's probably at 85, so I would have been 5 years old. 5 or 6, depending on when that was. So, yeah, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street then. So my parents kind of did the same thing. They didn't really censor what I watched. They just tried to explain to me, hey, this is what this is. I never had any problems. And believe me, they didn't do a whole lot in that department. Okay? It's not like they sat there and talked to me at length about these things. But if I had questions, they'd answer them. And I was never really confused about this shit. Trying to get rid of us, Jacob. The chat thing, yeah. VHS tapes could have like 3 or 4 movies on them, so I just put one on and leave it on. Yeah, but if you set it to SLP, you could record 8 hours on a VHS. EP was 2 hours. SP, I think, was 4 hours, and SLP was, if I remember correctly, was 8 hours or 6. Maybe it was 6 hours. So that's how I saw most of the Jasons and such. I've seen horror movies in an earlier age, but at 13, I actually started to enjoy them. Oh, I got you. SLP, right. We'd have 4 movies. Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, guys, that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. Told you it'd be a little bit shorter this week or today because I'm all by myself. I had another story in there. I can't even remember what it was. I pulled it out. I had a couple. There was some other stuff going on. There wasn't a ton. There were some things going on I didn't want to talk. Like I was going to talk about Halloween Ends. It was the top of the box office this weekend, but it still didn't do nearly as much as they were hoping. I think it came in at like 50 something million dollars, which is good for it because it cost 20 million to make, 20 or 30 million to make. So it's just about ready to make a profit after this weekend. So that's good. I mean, it'll be profitable for them. But they were hoping, I know they were talking about it possibly crossing worldwide, the $100 million mark for the weekend. I never thought that was going to happen. Maybe the Black Adam, maybe, depending on how popular it is and if it's getting a simultaneous release across the world. I don't know, but I never thought that Halloween Ends was going to break $100 million in a weekend. No fucking way. Especially being R-rated. Nah. But I wouldn't be. 50 million is, especially in the Halloween season, and this is like the big ending. That is not low, but not as. I know it's not as much as they wanted to make, and I would have figured it would have done more. So, what else was going on? Nothing really. There wasn't anything really big going on. That's why I didn't really have as much to talk about. And being by myself, I didn't have anybody to bounce stuff off of, so shorter show. I wonder how they even market those movies nowadays. These movies. Trailers. And on TV. And ads, like on YouTube and all that. Those ads, they cost money. And yeah, Facebook, all the social media, all that stuff, it all costs money to roll ads on that shit. Trying to think if I had anything else of interest to like. Not really. Trying to like fluff out the time on the show, I guess. Nothing really to go. Oh well, I guess I'll. I will be working tonight. What is tonight? Tonight's Tuesday. Tomorrow night, I'm actually seeing. Oh shit! I said I'm seeing Black Adam tomorrow. I'm not. I'm seeing another movie early tomorrow that I can't say what it is yet. I will be doing a review of it real soon. The embargo is either. I think I might be able to talk about it as soon as I'm done with it. But I'm seeing a movie tomorrow that's brand new. It's not out yet. It's actually, this is pretty well in advance. And then I'm seeing Black Adam on Thursday. So you'll be getting at least 2 reviews from me this week. And then on Friday, we are going to be doing a review on the show of an older movie. Not super old, but oldish. And, damn. I guess tonight I'll have to work on my Dreamcast then, if I want to do a stream of it anytime soon, because it ain't going to be Wednesday, ain't going to be Thursday. And I don't want to wait till Friday, so I'm going to try and do that so that Friday, maybe it wouldn't be after, or maybe Thursday, I can do a stream for a little bit. I really want to get that stream out of the way so I can show you guys that stuff, so let's see if I can get that thing working. It popped on. I've got it hooked up over there, the lid's off of it, so I need to go check it out. Maybe I'll look at that here in the next few minutes, because I got a little bit before I have to leave. So, anyway, be here for it. You know you're good. But I mean, it used to have cable, and we get previews, and that's how I saw movies were coming. Yeah, I mean, it's all social media now. And cable's still, I mean, TV is still a thing. They still have trailers and TV spots run. And, of course, running your trailer before a movie, that they pay for that, too. Alrighty, ladies and gents, I appreciate you guys all coming and hanging out. Fright and Antonio, I know you guys were the main ones here, at least in chat. Anybody else who was here that was just watching, thanks for hanging out and watching. And you'll get, if you missed any of the few stories we had, then I'll be putting shorter versions of those out over the course of the next few days. And there should be one more video of mine from a previous show come out around 4 o'clock today. So. And then tomorrow you'll get 3, and usually about 3 videos a day. So, all right, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I will see you all soon. Peace.